Hello and welcome to another episode of Flying High with Flutter. I'm your host, Alan Wyma, and I'm using a different microphone today, so hopefully I sound better. Otherwise, would love to hear you guys' thoughts because first time. And we actually have Verry here. I think it's actually pronounced Verry. I didn't even ask you, to be honest.
Depending on if you pronounce it German or English. So in German it would be very, and in English it's very, so it's totally fine.
Ah, okay. So I'll try the German way because that's the real way. It says
Yeah, you can just pronounce it in English.
Verry? How do you say that again? Sounds French almost.
Very.
Verry.
It's
uh,
fine. Just use the English one, it's easier.
I'll just say hey you. Is that easier? Then I won't get it wrong.
Also fine for me.
She is the you, wow, I don't know how to even introduce you. You have your own podcast, German speaking only, which I think is very interesting. I think it's pronounced Flutter DACH. Is that right?
It's Flutter DACH, and it's
Ah,
DACH is because Deutschland, so Germany,
got it.
Switzerland, and Austria. So yeah, it was the wrong way around, but yeah, that's why it's called DACH in German. I
Uh,
think there is no English name for it, but
that's the nice part about English is if you can't translate, you just leave it. you know, there's all kinds of words that come into there. I mean, there's a lot of English words which are French words, etc. The other way around too. I mean, we also got Dutch words. The word dollar, I believe, is also from Dutch. So there's yeah. Anyways, we're going into a whole nother subject, right? So I reached out to you because I think it's good to kind of cross, other platforms out there. We have a lot of listeners who are German speakers. We have, and you already mentioned this in the question sheet. Widget Book,
mhm.
those are all German guys. So they were on the show recently. We got Thomas. I believe he's German, right? He's from Germany, I believe. Am I
Thomas.
wrong? He created the Get It library.
Yeah, Thomas. Yes, of course. Yes, he's German too.
Yeah,
Thomas.
or maybe it's Thomas or yeah, my fault. Must be some others, but yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot of people in the Flutter community who actually are German. I think all those guys are straight up German, right? They're not like Austrian, etc., or Swiss.
Yeah, mostly German.
And then I think Van Dad is living in Switzerland, or am I wrong?
Oh, is he?
Maybe I got the name wrong. Norway or one of those countries over there. So, but it must be Norway. I believe that he speaks Norwegian. Maybe I got the wrong one. But yeah, there's a lot of people in that area, right? And it'd be nice, I think, to kind of let people know that there is other communities. So if you do speak German, there's a German one, um, and to kind of let people know all about it, right? So that's why I asked you to come onto the show. So do you mind to give a quick introduction about maybe yourself, and then kind of lead into Flutter Dash? Dach, is it Dach? Maybe I got it wrong.
Yeah, it's Dach.
Dach.
Yeah. So about myself, I'm a Flutter freelancer. I'm from Germany, from Stuttgart. It's in the southwest. And yeah, I'm doing this for 3.5 years now. So I'm in Flutter for like almost 4 years, but freelancing for 3.5 years. And I've seen quite a lot in Flutter. I'm also very active on the community on Twitter. I'm live streaming on Twitch. I'm organizing the community, so lots of community stuff there. I'm writing articles, so I'm very active. And yeah, what else do you want to know? I'm in software development for I don't know over 10 years. I've seen different languages, different tools, technologies, but I found out Flutter is definitely. So when I tried it, it was love at first sight. So I just kept going for the last 3.5 years, and I'm not willing to change anything the next years, to be honest.
But you got started quite early in your career, right? Because you were doing. I saw you said you created your first is it web page or website at
Yeah.
11 in early 1990s. I won't say which year because a lady should never reveal her age, right? So in the early 90s, sometime.
It's fine. I don't care.
Yeah. So what got you even interested to even do that? Because I don't think. I mean, I did some stuff like that a long time ago. It's not very common. I mean, the early 90s is really wild west
No,
for
it
the.
was super rare. It
Yeah.
was super rare back then. Today it's not, but back then it was. And I think it was because I was always a computer kid. So I liked playing games as early as possible. I started with Commander Keen, Lemmings and stuff, if people know that. It's very old.
I love lemmings. Are you kidding me? I love lemmings.
Nice, that's cool. Yes.
Yeah, now I'm gonna download that. Is that on Steam?
Oh yeah, I think it is. There's also Commander Keen is also on Steam, and I just tried it, and I totally suck at it. I can't I can't make it through. It's just too difficult. And yeah, I think the games got me into computers, and then I found the internet, and I found about chatting with people. And since I was more like an introvert person in my childhood, I don't know, but I enjoyed talking to people via internet, and so I thought when I was 11, let's build my own website, and I did that with Beep World. If anyone knows that, it's also super old. And
Beep
yeah,
World.
Beep World, yeah, it's from the 90s. It's crazy old. But it was a possibility to build your own small websites, and I did it. And yeah, I just kept going over the years. I had something like a virtual riding ranch with my friends where you could like virtually buy horses and stuff. And so that's what got me into software development, I guess. And yeah, I had some kind of professional game career when I studied, and then I had some first customers, and then yeah, it just evolved naturally, I think, because yeah, computers were I just loved them, and that's how I got into it. And then I studied it, and then yeah, I searched for a job and I got one. It was clear to me that back when I was young, I will be working with computers when I'm older.
Yeah, I mean, most. I, I mean, was there a lot of? I don't mean to sound so sexist, but I think there's not many girls at that time getting into computers, at least not so openly. So
No.
you have friends around you doing other things, and you're just like, no, I want to
Yeah.
play with this, and your friends think you're a little bit strange, or
I don't know, because back then, due to my hobbies, I'm also drumming, which is also not a really female hobby back then. It's getting better, but back then it wasn't.
yeah,
And gaming, not many girls around, so I mostly had male friends.
yeah,
So yeah, because of the interests, I couldn't share my interest with other girls. Sadly, I can do now, but back then it wasn't really possible. But yeah, not many girls in IT back then. But I did have like 6 or 7 girls when I studied, and they all ended up in software development. So it's getting better.
yeah. No, I'm happy. I think we should bring more girls to this. I feel it's. I've. I think I mentioned this before on the podcast, but I find that designers, which are tend to be more female oriented,
Yeah,
really take off in Flutter. It's surprising, even
yeah,
though it's code, but it's also not difficult to learn. And since they're very design oriented, they can make some really crazy stuff. You look at the boys when they first start getting into Flutter, it's like, oh, this. It's like when you first start your. I mean, I know you did Android app development, right?
yeah. I did.
So when you pick up an Android app at the beginning of your career, you're like, this is Android. Yeah, I can see the material design very clear. You would see Flutter apps like that, default buttons, etc., things all over the
Yes.
place. But for girls, it's like, oh, how did you even do that? How did you make the buttons rounded like that in the corners? Like I'd be asking all kinds of questions. Oh yeah, I just wanted to do that. I just googled it and found it.
I wanted it to be beautiful. Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. But you're also a little bit of a gamer, right? I mean, I don't know if everybody can see you right now, but you have very much a gaming setup, right? We were talking about microphones before.
Mm,
You have your quadcast
yeah.
that's all lit up, very beautiful, and your matching headset. And is I you can see my colors over here are very blue. Yours are very red. We
Yeah.
kind of really contrast each other.
Yeah, true. That's because the microphone back then there was only a red one, so I chose the red one. I didn't know the other one existed, but I like red. So
Perfect.
why not? It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
And yeah, so about the gaming setup, it's not really my gaming setup because since I'm traveling, it's hard to take all the gaming stuff with me because I have a gaming computer, but carrying it around through different hotels and stuff, really, no. And I'm not into much gaming anymore. But when I was younger, like for 10 years, I was totally into it and I played like 6 hours to 8 hours a day. So yeah, I was into gaming, but that's my setup for streaming now, for the live streams. And yeah, because audio quality matters, camera matters and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why I invested in all this gear. I'd spent over $1,000 yesterday in US dollar.
Yeah, and you can spend even more.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I found out that this microphone is not as good as another, so I literally just ordered another microphone today. That's
Of course.
another couple hundred US dollar I just spent.
Yeah, if you start it, it will never end.
And I told you before the show, I'm not very good. I just like to spend all my money. So speaking of that, if there's anybody who's looking for Flutter help, let me know. I could use the work for all my gear I just spent off. Actually, that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about. I was actually looking at, you have a Twitch channel, right? So what got
Yes.
you interested to work on Twitch? Because usually a lot of people are going to YouTube. I do more YouTube, but I've been looking at doing Twitch. I'd like to hear back from you about that.
You should try it. Give it a try. So I started Twitch with gaming. So I was playing Valorant while the pandemic was hitting hard, and I was at home for like 2 years. I don't know. And I started gaming, and my friends from my team, they asked me, hey, you could do some Twitch. And I'm like, Twitch, I've heard about it, no idea what should I do there. Yeah, you can stream while we game together. And I was like, yeah, why not? I'll give it a try. And then I found out everyone on Twitch is streaming gaming. So why would I just do the same? Why not doing something different? And so I checked if there are some coding live streams, because I'm always interested in how people are working while they code. It's super interesting to see what they are thinking, how they write their code, what challenges they have. And if you can chat with them while doing so, that was just mind blowing for me. So I found some coding channels, but I didn't find any Flutter channel. So I was like, maybe I could just try it. And I did. And it was like 1.5 years ago, I think. And I just started it to see how it goes. And it went pretty well because there was no one else apart from me doing that. And yeah, I try to keep it up, but it's very time consuming. And it's very hard to code while streaming because I always try to speak to the people and like to, entertain them. And coding takes a lot of energy, concentration. You have to be in the flow to get things done. So yeah, it's hard, but it's really cool. It's fun. I even built my little small community. People are joining every time I'm going live and stuff like that. And that's super great because having a community, it's just, as you probably know by now, having a community for me is one of the best things when it comes to learning, when it comes to improving, when it comes to just having a great time together. So yeah, just try it out. Twitch live streaming is cool. It's fun.
Maybe you need to explain to me. Maybe I'm just too old.
Ha!
But what I want to say is, I just don't understand how people can want to watch somebody playing a game. I think I'd rather play the game.
I don't know, because I never watched gaming as well. I'm just playing. It was boring for me to watch. I should have watched more because you can learn tactics and stuff, but I never was the person who liked watching. I just liked playing. So I can't tell you why people do that.
Yeah, I was always interested in why would you want to watch when you can just play?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess sometimes I can understand because, like, I think if I see, sometimes I Google on, sorry, not Google, I YouTube, and I look for people playing old games I like to play, right? Like Lemmings, right? Like, oh, I kind of miss
Yeah, that's
Lemmings.
cool.
And you look up Lemmings, you're like, oh, this guy's playing Lemmings, and you'll watch it. So I guess
Yeah.
for that I can feel it, but for newer games, I don't know. I guess there's valid reasons. It just seems strange to think about that.
But it works. If you check out Twitch, it's exploding, so it definitely works.
Yeah, for sure. And I also think it's how do I say, for the coding one, that makes a lot of sense because I think there's a lot of interesting things you can see when somebody's coding.
It is.
I skimmed through some of your videos because they're quite long. I think they're like at least an hour, hour and a
Yeah,
half.
sure.
What I saw, you were just really interacting with the audience more than anything else, and it seemed like you were just kind of in your own world coding,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. That's your style, right? What I think is more interesting, at least to me, when I watch some of these kind of coding videos, is like when people they're talking out loud. Okay, oh, I run into this problem,
Yeah.
and then they go through a thought process. That one I think is really interesting, especially if you look at people who are like language creators and seeing how they would solve things with that language that they created, etc. These kind of things, right? If we had Eric Seidel coding a Flutter app, that'd be really interesting to see. Okay, what is he thinking about? Because he knows all the stuff,
Yeah.
and he knows a lot of the stuff at least. What is his thought process? What does he think about?
It's also, it feels like rubber ducking with yourself all the time, because I'm trying to explain what I'm doing. I don't know why, but I'm trying to explain what I'm doing and what my thoughts are. And when I'm stuck, I'm like, why the hell am I stuck? What are my options? I'm going through debugging together. Sometimes people help me in the chat and they say, you just forgot XYZ, I don't know. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even see that. So sometimes it really helps, but it also slows you down a lot. So my first intention was, when I'm doing live streams, was I would like to be better in explaining stuff, since I'm doing some mentoring, and I always felt like I'm super bad in explaining. And I thought Twitch could really help me, because I have to explain everything all the time. And I don't know, but I think it did, because I do have to practice to explain stuff. And yeah, that's what now makes sense for me, and that's why I just handle it that way.
That's interesting. But I remember when you fill out your question sheet, you talked about people who you although it's a Flutter German community, there's definitely some English speakers who come and join.
Sure.
And do you use this opportunity as also a way to kind of expand your English too? Because obviously you're not a native speaker, but yeah,
Of course. Yeah, of course.
mm.
I'm just live streaming in English, because the Flutter community in German, well, there is a community, but it's small, and yeah, I totally use it to improve my English, because currently I'm not speaking that much English. Normally I have projects where everything is in English, but currently I don't have them, and I would like to not forget those skills. So yeah, it's totally in English, and you have a quite bigger audience than if I would just stream in German.
Now, if you mess up, do you swear in German so nobody knows what you're saying, or or you just kind of hold it in and just?
I'm pretty good in translating them into English, like German English. I'm just translating them word by word. It works.
Yeah, that's well. I think I heard that a lot of English swears come from German language, but I'm not too sure if that's
Yeah,
true. But I
probably.
know they're very similar, right? You used the word shit already. It's like Scheiße.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think you ever really see it.
exactly.
No, I'm just curious, right? I find people usually who are not native English speakers, they tend to use English swears more than they use
Yeah.
their own language swears, which I thought was always very strange. It's like, oh, if I say that same word in French or in German, it's so much worse meaning, it's something like that. Is that how the same feeling?
I just thought about words I'm saying in German to swear, and apart from Scheiße, I don't know any. So I don't know. I don't even know which kind of words I'm using, to be honest. I know I use them a lot. That's why I had to set my channel to be for people 18 and above. But
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the warning. So like I said, I went there and it's like, oh, you need to be this mature. I'm like, is she like stripping or something? I
streaming
don't
from a
understand what's
pool,
going
yeah,
on.
yeah. I'm streaming from a hot tub. No, I'm
Yeah, I
not.
don't know what you were doing.
It's
I was like, that's very weird.
oh wow, shit. Maybe I should think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, that's really weird. Like I thought, okay, maybe it's because they also talked about the music, that they said the music may be copyrighted, whatever music you're using, and I was like, maybe the
No,
song she
it's
has
not.
got
It's
swears
only
in it.
because of the swearing. Because
Okay.
I do this a lot when I'm stuck in my code, and I'm like, that's why my headline says "Welcome to my emotional coding stream," because I tend to get very emotional when I'm coding, and I tend to swear a lot if it's not working, and it's very often not working. So, but maybe I should think about not setting it to 18 and try to not swear that much if it like brings the wrong how do you say it? If you were thinking I'm stripping in a pool, that's not what I want to
I don't know.
achieve
I
with
didn't
this.
actually think about that part. I just thought that was just weird. I didn't think about you being in some weird visual situation. I just thought that was weird.
Yeah,
And I said
yeah,
maybe
sure.
it's a song, maybe it's something else. I don't know. I didn't think too much because some things they will slap a warning on it because like
Mm.
from American movies, if you get an R rating if you say fuck like more than 3 times. And that could just be the worst thing. It's like, well, that's not
Yeah.
that bad, I think.
Maybe I'm German, so I try to stick to the rules. Maybe I'm just too sticky to the rules in this case.
No,
I
it's
just could
good.
get rid of it.
Some people are very sensitive about that, and that's fine. Like I said, I just wanted to understand why it was like that.
Yeah, so that's the reason, and I don't have any other reasons.
And sorry, actually, to be honest, I'm a little bit of a fan of your Twitch, not about your coding, but how you set up everything, because it's really, really nice. The beginning, you have that countdown,
Hmm.
and I remember one of them. I don't think all of them, but I remember one of them at least had. They all have this girl sitting in a chair. I thought that's a
Hmm.
really cool picture. Did you draw that yourself, or ask somebody to
No,
draw that
my
for you?
sister did. She made it for my birthday. Yeah, I love it as well. She's my favorite designer all time. So greetings to Jana. You did a great job.
Yeah, maybe I reach out to you for something. It's very nice, Yana. Quite like it.
Nice.
But no, and like I said, at least one of them. I didn't get to finish what I was saying. At least one of them, there's rain in the background, right? How did you animate
Hmm.
all this stuff?
I didn't. She did.
All that's all from her. Wow.
That's from her. Just the info cards and emoji stuff. That's from me. But the bigger drawing is from her. Yeah, like I said, she gave it to me to my birthday, and I really enjoyed it very much. So I adjusted all the design from the whole stream to match the background image.
Wow. It's and then how did so even the countdown she did all that. She did the everything I see in that picture, including the countdown, etc., was all from her.
Well, the countdown is pretty easy to make. You can set up Twitch. You can set up different scenes. You can put in text. You can put in images, stuff like that. And that's countdown is not that big of magic. And there are some things like those alerts when someone is following, subscribing, and stuff like that. You can mostly buy those stuff because there are like packages you can just use. I did because I have no idea about animation at all. And in the future, I would like to customize this even more, but it takes so much time. It's incredible. I spent days to perfectionize this, and since I'm a perfectionist, it drives me crazy because I want to do it, yeah, the best I can. But yeah, like I said, it takes tons of time.
Not even just days. Because what I remember, I listened to your video and you redid everything because you said everything crashed for OBS. Isn't that
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
you knew what you had at least, so you could more easily redo it, I think.
Yeah, but you should just keep it in a structured way on your computer or in the cloud. And let's say mine was super messy because I tried out different things for a long time, a lot, and everything got messy, and I haven't had the time, or yeah, I didn't just want to sort it. So I had to get it back in there like from scratch. I had the pieces, but I had to puzzle them together. Yeah,
Okay.
for the future, I know it. Hopefully, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. And I'll make a backup.
What about so obviously I know that you have like these overlays that are basically OBS web overlays, I'm guessing, right? With the chat channel
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything else there. But you also had like I didn't know what the heck that was. All of a sudden there was stuff popping up from the bottom and there was things spinning around all over the place. That's another like OBS
Yeah.
scene transition or something, or what is that?
That's the alerts. So that's when.
Oh, that's the overlay again, right?
And probably you saw the little Pokemons down there. I haven't
Yeah.
had them in the last streams because Mac don't want to handle this application. But yeah, there were some Pokemons, which is a totally different application. You can buy it on Steam, and then you can just include it like a special window capturing thingy. And yeah, most of the things work like that. You have a separate layer, let's call it, and then you provide it with a browser source or a picture or animation. So you can. That's what's great about Twitch. You can customize it to be at your own like TV show. That's what I like most about it. I think that's not really possible that great with YouTube, also with the interaction stuff, but I did not dive into that deeper. I think they are. trying to get there, but not yet.
Something that I was thinking to take a look at, and I didn't have enough time. I was going to give to somebody on my team to take a look at there must be a way to build one of those web overlays using Flutter.
Oh, yeah.
I think I saw some people talking about this on YouTube, and I was like, well, yeah. I'm like, well, I have somebody here who knows Flutter very well. They don't have anything to do because I have my own consulting company. And I thought, why not ask him to build like a chat one? Because what I'm really interested to have is like to press a button or somehow select like a chat message, and then that chat message would be overlaid on the bottom
Yeah.
of the live
You can
stream that we
totally
do.
do that.
Yeah.
I thought about the same, but I have so many to-dos on my list. I don't even know where to start. I have so many ideas. No, so it's on my list, but it will take some time. There was also someone from my community, and he wrote a Flutter app where you could control your stream with different memes. For example, you could hit a button on your phone and then it would appear. So you could do that with any kind of widget, or even trigger it with the Twitch API, because there is an API. Why not use it? It's totally doable. Why not? But it takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. There was actually another guy. It wasn't Flutter. This stuff wasn't Flutter. He used Elixir Phoenix, and he hosted his presentation on the web. And he pulled up the web page, and he could flip around it's very simple, right? You probably press an arrow key or something, and it will flip to the next page. But if you went to the website, you can actually follow along also on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And you can send emojis. So as he's presenting, people are sending up emojis. I thought will keep people interested, but maybe only in the emoji sending, not actually your speech. But at least it's something different. I thought that was stuck out in my mind.
Yeah, that's those little interactive things which really matter. Or for me, as a visitor or as a viewer, this matters, because if I can somehow interact with it, it's always more fun. I don't know.
At least you don't forget about it. You say, "Oh yeah, that's the guy that did that." And then I downloaded his what he did, and then I just never looked again. You know, you're interested at the time, and it just kind of falls out after some time. You know, you don't really think too much about it.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I would like to kind of go back to more about you, right? Because there's quite a few um, freelancers within Flutter,
Mm-hmm.
but
There are.
yours is quite interesting because I think most freelancers they do travel, but it seems like you said you always travel to escape the cold. Is that right? That's why you ran away to Spain this time.
Yeah, I don't like the cold. I like Germany in summer. It's great meeting friends, doing all the hobbies I have. But in winter, I just don't like it. It's like we talked before. People are very depressed. It's gray, it's cold, it's rainy. There's not even snow where I live. So what the hell should I do in winter? Like, I could game all day, but I don't want to sit at home every day. So why not going to the beach and go surfing, or just go outside, enjoy the sun? I love the sun. I miss the sun in winter. It's so crazy. And in Spain, it's not that warm at the moment, but it's warm enough for me. And there's most of the time there is sun, and sun makes such a big difference. So yeah, I try to escape winter, and I even try to take some people with me from the Flutter community, especially. That's why we are having like a little co-living, co-working event in January, February on Tenerife, where we are 4 people right now, maybe 5, and we just rent a little house together, and we will co-work from there. And that's my biggest dream, to work with people I know and I like to work with. And bringing my friends somewhere else is even better than just going alone. So I thought, why not doing that? And so I'm doing that, and it works.
How do I sign up for that? I didn't see an invitation come out. I want to go traveling for work for a while.
Well, the invitation was sent out personally by me on the Flutter Vikings conference when I went around the party and talked to everyone and invited them. And some people said yes. And I was like, okay, they drank maybe 2 beer. Maybe it's not going to work. But I did get 3 people invited and they said, yes, let's do it. And so it could be more, but I want to start like small and then scale it up a little bit. Let's see if this works, if anyone's interested.
Oh, so this is all Viking cruise, and you guys have to wear the Viking helmets if you're gonna do this one from Flutter Vikings.
Sorry, what?
You have to wear the Viking helmet since you guys all met from Flutter Vikings. You can't just go there all by yourself. You got to have represent the team where you guys came from, all from Flutter Vikings. No.
Well, I knew one person before that. My co-host Chris is actually coming with us, and the other one I met on a Flutter DACH meetup. So yeah, it's like it should be. Just meeting the people, getting to know them, and then let's see if they are interested in having some kind of friendship. I would say we are friends right now.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you live with your. This is for how long? You said a couple months,
1
or at
month.
least only 1 month. Okay, that should be okay.
You have to be careful. Okay, why?
Yeah, well, I lived with with a friend before, and it depends, right? How is this person? Are they cleanly?
Of course.
And the other thing too is you have to worry about your friendship also. I think so. I had a really bad roommates in university. That was not fun. But one of basically my best friend, we both came to Hong Kong from Shanghai,
Mm-hmm.
and we're really really close. But then we lived together, and then we worked together because we both changed jobs to the same place.
Mm.
And when you see this person all the time, it's like you tend to try to get away from them, and then you lose some connection, right? Because if you spend all day working and living together, it could be a little bit much.
I know what you mean. It totally depends on the people. 100%. How easy to handle they are, how easy to handle are you. So totally depends on that. It could work, it could also fail. I don't know, I can't tell, but I'm quite optimistic because I know them at least a little, and we have enough space, and the weather is fine, so you can just go outside. You don't have to work all day. Everyone has his or her own room, so that's also big issue. Sometimes if you have to share rooms, that's not going to work out for very long. But if you have different rooms, you can just separate. That's great, I think. But yeah, that's why I don't want to scale it up that much. I just want to try and see if it's cool or not. And if so, I would like to have maybe some bigger events, but not for 1 month, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, totally fine. And the bigger the group gets, I think the easier it will be. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I don't know. It's just my assumptions. So in a small group, it's in bigger groups, you can have subgroups. In a smaller group, that's harder to achieve. So yeah, let's see where this takes us. I don't know.
Well, be careful, right? Because you have big group, you can have mob mentality where they just become crazy and fires and pitchforks and stuff. I saw Frankenstein, right? They burned down the windmill, so you got to be careful.
Wow. Oh my god, you are really, now I'm really afraid. No, I just
Not me. Okay, I'm a single person, but 10 people together can be dangerous, right? I think IQs exponentially go down the more people you add.
they can, but it can also be super great. And I've had events where many people came together sharing a passion. I think that's the most important thing. You have to have something in common which you share. And I think then it can work out. It could totally fail. I'm totally aware of that, but I don't think so. Maybe I'm too optimistic, but I'd like to stay optimistic and try it better than pessimistic and don't try it. That's like with all the stuff I'm doing for community. I tried podcasting because I just wanted to try. It works, so I keep going. I started Twitch because I wanted to try. I kept going. I start different stuff, and if it doesn't work, I just skip it, and if it works, I will just continue doing it.
So you may want to consider to bring a waiver, just in case. Protect yourself.
Okay. I'm considering that. Yeah, we can talk about when it's over. Maybe we can have a chat again, and then I'm hopefully not going to tell you it was awful.
Yeah, what is it called? The retrospective, right? At
Yeah,
the end.
exactly.
I do want to talk a little bit more about the Flutter Dash community because we didn't give it enough enough as it is. So you've mentioned over here you have these, oh my goodness, Stamash events. Is that how you say that?
That's cool. It's I don't know if there is an English word for it. So it's called Stammtisch events. And maybe to quickly explain it, it's just there are meetups, Flutter meetups, where you can go. You are watching talks and talking to people, having food and drinks and things like that. And there are those Stammtisch events, we call it, where you just meet people in a restaurant or in a bar or wherever. And you just talk about Flutter. There is no meetup in like with talks. There is no agenda. There is just people coming together and talking about Flutter. And we've had, I just checked it, I think 15 meetups we started in July. So we have several Stammtisch events per month in different cities, currently only in Germany because Switzerland and Austria, the community is not big enough yet to host them in different cities. We are getting there hopefully, but currently there are in like 6 to 7 different cities in Germany, and you can just join there, have a great time, exchange your experience, and talk about it. And that's all. It's not complicated. It's just meeting new people, just a little bit of networking, and I'm like having different organizers to do that because I can't be in every city, especially if I'm in Spain. I can't travel to German cities 3 times a week. That doesn't work. So I have like different people managing different cities, and they just take care of deciding for a date and making a reservation, and that's it. And that's because it's so easy to handle for the people. It's not much organizing stuff. They are really happy to do it. So I think that's what makes the difference between meetups or two meetups. Sorry, bad English. Because meetups are, yeah, they need to be organized very well. You need to have speakers. You need to have a location. You need to have food, drinks, stuff like that. Even sponsors, and that takes much time. And also, it's more difficult. And Stammtisch events are just easy. Just go there, meet, and see if it's fun or not, and then join the next time as well or not. Bring your own questions. You can learn from everyone there because, yeah, everybody wants to share their experiences, and that's what makes it really valuable, I think, for the community, even if we don't have talks.
But it's also good to know that these events are not like, they're auxiliary events, right? You guys are still very much into Flutter, sharing, all around the world, but you want to have something a little bit more localized to kind of
Yeah,
augment the experience and keep the Flutter party going, right?
yeah,
Maybe you start your party at Flutter Vikings, and then we got to keep this going, and so you have some more local. Sorry, how you say it? Stammtisch.
Stammtisch. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, wow, my German's getting better with talking to you. Some more
Nice.
Stammtisch events to keep it going. Um, so that's good to hear, right? Because we just have these like events that happen maybe once every couple of months, right? There's nothing keeping the party going. So it's good that you have this kind of community to keep it going. And then also not just these Stammtisch events. There's of course there's still I'm sure still meetups.
Yeah, of
And
course.
there's also you're doing co-working, co-living stuff. You're doing a lot of different things, right?
Yeah, because like I said, I just want to try different things, and depending on, yeah, if people like it or not, I will continue doing it or doing it alone or stop doing it. And I think those Stammtisch meetups really worked well, and they are growing. And yeah, like I said, it's easy to get organizers for different cities, and that's what makes it so lightweight, I would say. And we are not interfering with any meetups. We don't. Some people said, "Oh, you want to steal the meetups from the city?" No, oh my God, no, I don't want to do that. They can all have their own meetups. But Germany, the last 3 years, there weren't many meetups, especially around Stuttgart. So I thought like, okay, why I'm not trying to push it a little bit. And yeah, like I said, meetups are too much organization for me alone, or yeah, then I would need to do it with a company together and stuff like that. It's so complicated. I just want to have it. The easier it is, the easier it is to maintain, and that's why it works. And we are also advertising other meetups, so they are our friends. We don't want to steal anything from them. We just want to work together with them to build a community, to maintain the community, and exchange everything we know. That's all we want.
Well, that's great. I mean, I wish we can do more of these kind of things because yeah, it's just like everybody goes to their corner and then you come back every. The only one I really know consistently people always go to is Flutter Vikings. I can't think of another one that's more international than that one. Is there any more?
Well, there are some events upcoming. There's one in Italy, in Turin. It's in February, I think. And there's also the one coming up in the Flutter Forward in Kenya, but that's far away. So there will be hopefully another Flutter Vikings, and I'm maybe planning on a little conference in Germany as well, but this will take some more time, some more money, and but it's on my list. I have some ideas. I have some people willing to help, so it's gonna happen, but I don't know when.
Yeah, these are all far away from me. I'm way too far away from all these events. I'm all the way out in Hong Kong, so it's quite a distance.
Yeah, that's a little far. That's true.
Yeah, so I've also thought about putting on some Flutter ones, but just a little bit packed schedule at the moment. But that's something that's crossed my mind a couple of times. We've done very local workshops. Like I said, we talk about when I saw the designers going, right, we did a local workshop, just like 5 to 8 people in a single room,
That's cool.
showing very simple app. And then, they walk away. Like we did one style where we actually did a install party at the beginning. And then we showed them how to do it. Then they could walk away at home, go do everything. And then we tried another one where we just did Dartpad, right? Is it Dartpad.dev? And then they could just practice, and both of them were quite a hit.
That's cool. But you also have to prepare those, right? So you could also have some Stammtisch meetups.
Yes, but
Depending on if the community is like big enough, you need like 4 people at least, I would say.
Yeah, I think it also depends on the people too, right? Because maybe these events require alcohol or to get the party started. No, you just talk.
Yeah.
I mean, how does it actually start? You look totally shocked. To me, I just think Germany must be drinking beer.
Everyone is thinking about Germany drinking all the time. That's
out of a
funny.
boot. Out of a boot.
That's
also
so funny. Well, it is like that mostly, but no, it's of course it's not required to drink alcohol. You can order whatever you want. You can have a Coca-Cola. It doesn't matter.
Sounds like what I would call a mixer, basically, where you just have a bunch of people in a room and then they just kind of talk to each other and know each other more.
Yeah.
Sounds like what I would call a mixer.
Yeah, it's also some people went bowling. So Widget Book, for example, is hosting one of those Stammtisch events, and they just went bowling. So why not? You can do everything you want. As long as you want to organize it, you can go, I don't know, you can go hiking, bowling, walking, playing tennis, whatever. I don't care. Just do what you like and what you think people would like as well. And that's fine. So you can go drink alcohol, you can go to a party. Why not? But you just can be sober and drink something else.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to think because over here everybody's usually quite shy. So I'm just trying to think about how we can put something on.
Yeah, well, that's really interesting because the meetings I organized, I also thought so as well. People are very shy because they are like developers. Developers tend to be shy. That's how it is. I'm shy as well. But if you throw them in a room with people being like you, and if you have something to share, like I said, a passion, for example, like Flutter, for example, it's exploding. People are talking. You can't even make them stop. So that wasn't a problem at all. You maybe need one person to like push it a little bit in the beginning, But if you have like 4 to 10 people, that's not a problem. And some people like to just sit there and listen. That's also fine. Why not? So you don't have to talk. If you are in a bigger group, you can, but you don't have to. And normally the topics are, everybody's asking questions and we don't even get through with the questions. We are setting the meeting for like 2 hours, and 3 hours later we are still sitting there and thinking about, oh, maybe we should stop now. So that was never an issue.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm just thinking, icebreakers is definitely something you have to kind of make, break the ice. But people always tell me I'm more of an ice builder than an icebreaker, so I don't know if I could be a good host for something like this.
Builder.
Yeah, I never heard that word before, but they basically told me I tried to break the ice, and they said you're actually building ice right now. I didn't know that was possible.
Okay, I didn't know as well. That's weird.
I don't know if they were making a joke or what, but they basically said you're an ice builder, and then they also laughed too. So I don't know what I can't remember what I said. They were not very happy with my ice breaking abilities.
Oh, that's so sad to hear.
It was interesting. I laughed at it. What can I do? That's my talent, is always doing the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Oh my god! Oh my god! And you are telling me Germans are depressing?
I'm not depressed. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I'm not depressed at all.
Okay, then
I just think
it's
it's a funny thing to build the ice and see how it goes. It's called, what do you call that? Stir the pot, as we call it.
Okay, so we should invite you over, and then you can build up the ice, and then we can try to break it again.
Oh yeah, that sounds like fun. I've always wanted to come visit Germany someday, actually. So I may take you up on the offer.
Yeah, let me know. We try it. I'm sure I can break it.
I wouldn't be surprised if the party turned. Wait, hold on. Let me try the sound pad. It'd be like this.
I don't think so. You can no, but we can try it. We can try it. I'm happy to try.
Be careful, right? Don't play with fire; you get burned.
Challenge accepted.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're approaching the end of our time. I really appreciated hearing more about the Flutter DACH community. Did I get that wrong?
No, it was right.
It was very German, right? That DACH.
Very German. It's very German, yes.
Yeah, I told you I talk to a German guy all the time. Actually, I talked to another German guy who's got no German accent at all. I was very surprised.
I'm trying to hide it, but it's not possible. I try my best, but it could be worse. So
yeah, that's okay. I find it more interesting when people have a strong accent. It's more fun, especially I talk with a French guy, and he teaches me new English phrases. I ever heard of piece of cake? Something's very easy, right?
piece of cake, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So he uses the word piece of cake, but then you have to ask him how big is the cake. If it's a very big cake, it's not very easy. So I taught this. I learned this one. I don't know if it's a French saying or just his saying, but he's just like, oh, it's a piece of cake. But then the way he was talking about it, he was talking about how difficult it was. But it was like, what?
I never heard that.
A big cake? Yeah, very big cake. Okay.
Nice.
So whenever he says something's a piece of cake, we got to ask how big is that cake.
Okay, I will do that
what
now.
his meaning is. Maybe it's a French thing, I think.
Could be, yeah.
Again, thank you for your time. Do you have any last shout outs, or should we? I mean, if people are interested in to get in contact with you or more about the Flutter DACH community, how should we do that?
Wow, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Discord. Maybe we can link the meetup group there, because all the links are there. And yeah, just ping me. I will invite you everywhere. I think it's easy to reach me. It shouldn't be a problem. You can also join Twitch and chat with me and ask me there. Everything is fine.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you for your time, and it's good to meet you. And now I have to work on my ice building skills so I don't let you down.
Thanks very much for having me.